My name is Emily, and I don't know what to start. I'll just go. But so I'm a mixed media ceramic artist that has like a society of vibrant people, and so my piece here is a religious center inside of my society of people, and the title of the piece is Bibere, Viridi, Sanctum, which is Latin for holy green drink. And so I grew up both from both vegetarian and a Catholic, and so I combined the two rituals of eating as well as like the communion aspect of Catholicism into one performance where I'm making a smoothie for the viewer, and it's kind of like a how-to tutorial sense. Because I always think about like YouTube and how that's part of our culture, and I research that a lot. And this idea of like how-to videos mixed with making a smoothie mixed with like the body and eating like a mystical body with like the wafers and the wine that's supposed to be blood, and how that past body is supposed to be something that gives us life as well, and then like the actual like substance of eating fruits and vegetables is what really sustains us in life and keeps us going. So it's kind of a humorous piece. I filmed it, and I also painted my hands with face paint in like a green and orange fashion to kind of bring out life force. And all of my ceramics are also underglazed in that fashion in different colors. And so it's also like prevalent on the actual cathedral itself, which is inspired by like celery stalks and also different types of plants, and how going into nature is also very communal and ritualistic. So I combined the two worlds that I grew up with into this one piece. And also this idea of YouTube and talking about like how we, if we make YouTube, I also made YouTube for like 8 years, and how you make something in the hopes of somebody else to watch it and experience it, which is kind of what like priests do, is they hope that people are going to receive the communion. So I'm thinking about like how we are so focused on like creating something for a future self or future people, and how we keep those traditions going. So that's basically the piece and the thought process behind that. So.
Wow. How long did it take you to make the whole structure? What were the considerations?
Yeah, so the sculpture is fun because I like to like figure out how to like make puzzles with my ceramics. And so I knew that I wanted to hide the projector. So I got the projector, and then I worked around it to hide it and also hide the cord. So it's actually 3 different pieces. And so I made the piece during grad school, and then afterwards I made the video, and then in 2021 I redid the video, and kind of like as my skills with like Premiere Pro and Illustrator like advanced, I redid some of the pieces. I also made the music, which is going throughout the gallery through GarageBand, and the words within the music is ingredients of like blueberries and lettuce, and then giving like the scientific name, and then what properties helps you like nurture yourself. But so I think construction-wise, it was probably like 3 weeks, like fire to glaze, and then I also built the pedestals, which was my first time doing, which that took a week, and then I performed the video, which took all the time. So it's probably like a 3-month process that I went through to make this. But the nice thing about ceramics is that it kind of like lives by itself, and like I can keep taking it to different places and touring with it and showing it around, and it's always kind of like it's in the same spot. But as you think about it more so, especially with like COVID happening and how people were so into like making their own bread and like making all these new recipes, that was kind of interesting to me. So.
Did it evolve as you made it, or did you have a plan, and did you kind of plan everything ahead of time?
Yeah, I did. I'm very much a planner. Like when I'm making a piece, like I'll think at the start of it like a year before, and then like slowly over the course of the year, like think about like the meaning, and then like how I'm going to do it, and then also like the performance aspect, which is different. And inside the piece also has ceramic pieces that I've thrown, which I'm not a thrower, like with pottery. So that was like me experimenting with it, because I'm like, why would I throw these pots? So I'm like, I have to make it for a video, like a performance, so then it's like useful to me. So those are the pieces that are inside the video.
Very cool.
Yeah. I think there's something very interesting in the way you experience this piece. Is like, you know, you as a viewer have to figure out where you will be watching it from, and what will you like allow to also enter your line of vision along with the video. Yeah, was that very intentional? Yeah, I want to like really understand why, how you wanted it to be seen as the artist.
Oh yeah, so I do also like when people come up to my sculptures, like my people, this is like the only one that's like not actually like a person, like there's some like hands and things, but it's more like a centaur. And so I'm always interested in like making sure people come up to my ceramics and like interacting and trying to figure out the backstory to my people. And so I like the fact, especially here with the windows, but it's like, I like the fact that you can like move around and then you can see at different angles. And then it's also interesting because in previous installations of this, you have headphones, so it's very like you and the viewing this like one-on-one. But then now it's like more like a community aspect because it's always like all around and you can hear it bouncing off places. So I think that like the movement around it is nice, and then because you're also like it kind of can get really close to the piece, which I also enjoy because ceramics are pretty sturdy and like are like you want to touch them. So I'm very like okay with people like touching them and like experience it that way. So it's very like I want you to draw it in, and then the screen is small enough where it's like it's not projected off into like this big way, but it's like you and the piece like intimately viewing it. So
You know, I feel that this tablecloth is a little distraction for me. That's my personal thought.
yeah.
What made you do that?
Okay, yeah, so I think I find it very fun to like go out into the world and like discover things, and a lot of like the plastic pieces in this piece are what I found like at thrift stores. And so I wanted to like have a cloth because then it also kind of like leveled out the pedestal, but then also gave it something shiny to sit on, which then with the video is shiny with that in itself. And then I really like this pattern that matched the colors of my leaves. So I think it's just like a way to kind of give a little bit more life and like sense. And if you're in like my society of people, you would like put down a cloth, and then you think about like going to communion, they always have to like put down that fabric piece, and then they put down the chalices and stuff. So it's like you have layers upon layers of like having to make this. And so I mean, I just think it's very, quite nice with it, so.
It makes it more informal. It's kind of more like a table setting, right? So like a tablecloth, or me. Maybe stylistically, if you didn't have that, some people would say that would combine it, be easier to be one piece, not to be a distraction. But I can see your point why you did that.
No, those are good thoughts. Thank you.
I mean, if you were going to put it in one, then put it on both.
Or to me it looks like a stage then almost too, and I felt like it made me feel like a giant looking at a little theater of life, and I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, and it's like this is not, I mean, it's part of it, but it's like it's not as important as like what's happening here. And I also think that then it'd be like, well, then why aren't they like together as like one piece? So then this gives a nice separation, because it has to be a little bit moved back anyways, so that the projection works.
It is a stage. I see that too.
Yeah.
It's a performance.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah.